46. The first emperor, Qin Shi Huang. After conquering the 6 states, King Zheng of Qin ended the Warring States period and unified China. Believing his achievements surpassed even those of the legendary 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors, he decided that the title king was no longer grand enough for his accomplishments. Thus, he adopted the title Huangdi, emperor, proclaiming himself Qin Shi Huangdi, or the first emperor. He also established a dynastic succession system, decreeing that his successors would be named as Shi Huangdi, second emperor, San Shi Huangdi, third emperor, and so on, intending to pass down the throne for 1,000 generations. Establishing centralized rule. With the nation unified, the question arose, how should such a vast empire be governed? During a court meeting, Prime Minister Wang Wan suggested, the feudal lords have just been eliminated. The former states of Yang, Chu, and Qi are far from the capital of Xianyang. If no royal princes are stationed there as kings, it will be difficult to maintain control. Please appoint some of your Majesty's sons to govern these regions. Qin Shi Huang ordered the ministers to discuss the matter. Most supported Wang Wan's proposal, but one man objected, Li Sai. Li Sai argued. During the Zhou dynasty, King Wu granted territories to various lords. Over time, these feudal rulers became enemies, constantly waging war against each other. Even the Zhou king himself could not control them. This proves that the feudal system is flawed. Instead, I suggest establishing a system of commanderies and counties, directly governed by the central government. Qin Shi Huang approved Li Sai's proposal and abolished feudalism, replacing it with the commandery-county system. The empire was divided into 36 commanderies, each subdivided into counties. Officials were directly appointed by the imperial court, ensuring that all power rested with the emperor. It is said that Qin Shi Huang personally reviewed reports and official documents every day, totaling over 121 jin, about 60 kilograms, of bamboo slips, refusing to rest until he had read them all. This demonstrated the extreme centralization of power under his rule. Standardizing the empire. Before unification, each state had different systems, creating obstacles to administration, commerce, and transportation. 1. Standardizing road and vehicle widths. In the Warring States period, different regions used different sizes of carts, which made travel between states difficult. Qin Shi Huang standardized the width between cart wheels to 6 kai, about 1.38 meters, ensuring that all roads and transportation systems were uniform across the empire. 2. Unifying the written language. The various states had developed different forms of Chinese characters, making communication difficult. Qin Shi Huang implemented a standardized script, known as Small Seal Script, making official communication, record-keeping, and cultural exchange much easier. 3. Standardizing weights and measures. The states had used different measurement units, which caused confusion in trade and taxation. Qin Shi Huang unified the standards for length, volume, and weight so that measurements were consistent throughout the empire. This reform greatly facilitated trade and economic growth. Defending the northern border, the Great Wall. While Qin Shi Huang was carrying out internal reforms, the Xiongnu nomads from the north launched invasions into Chinese territory. The Xiongnu, an ancient northern ethnic group, had gradually expanded southward during the decline of Yang and Zhao, seizing vast areas along the Yellow River. To counter the Xiongnu threat, Qin Shi Huang sent General Meng Qian with 300,000 troops to reclaim the lost territories. After successfully repelling the Xiongnu, Qin established 44 new counties in the reclaimed land. To permanently secure the northern frontier, Qin Shi Huang ordered the construction of a massive defensive wall by connecting and expanding the existing fortifications built by Yang, Zhao, and Qin. This great wall stretched from Lindao, modern Minot County, Gansu, in the west to Liaodong, modern Liaoyang, Lianing, in the east, spanning thousands of miles. This world-famous architectural feat became a lasting symbol of Chinese civilization. Expanding to the south. Not content with just defending the north, Qin Shi Huang deployed 500,000 troops to conquer the south, expanding the empire's territory and establishing 3 new commanderies. The following year, General Meng Qian successfully defeated the Xiongnu again, adding 1 more commandery to Qin's empire. By this point, Qin had grown to include 40 commanderies, making it the largest empire China had ever seen. The burning of books and burying of scholars. In 213 BCE, Qin Shi Huang hosted a grand banquet in Xianyang to celebrate his territorial expansions. Most officials praised his achievements, but one scholar, Qu Yu, criticized the abolition of feudalism and argued that the ancient system of vassal states should be restored. By this time, Li Sai had risen to the rank of chancellor. Qin Shi Huang asked for his opinion. Li Sai argued, "The empire is now stable, and the laws are unified." However, many scholars refuse to study current policies and instead cling to outdated traditions. They spread dangerous ideas that disrupt society and undermine the emperor's authority. If this is not controlled, it will weaken the state. Qin Shi Huang accepted Li Sai's recommendation and immediately issued an edict. All private copies of the Book of Songs, Book of Documents, and texts from the 100 schools of thought must be surrendered and burned, except for books on medicine, agriculture, and divination. Anyone caught discussing these banned books would be executed. Anyone who criticized the government using ancient precedents would have their entire family executed. This event became known as the burning of books. The execution of scholars. The following year, two alchemists, Lu Sheng and Hu Sheng, privately mocked Qin Shi Huang behind his back. When the emperor heard of this, he ordered their immediate arrest, but they had already fled. Enraged, Qin Shi Huang launched a large-scale investigation into scholars who had spoken against him. In Xianyang, he discovered that many Confucian scholars had secretly criticized his rule. Qin Shi Huang ordered the arrest and interrogation of these scholars. Under torture, they implicated hundreds of others, leading to a widespread crackdown. Eventually, over 460 Confucian scholars were executed by live burial, while others were exiled to the empire's borders. This event became known as the burying of Confucian scholars. The exile of Prince Fusu. At the height of his fury, no official dared to oppose Qin Shi Huang, except his eldest son, Prince Fusu. Prince Fusu criticized his father's harsh treatment of scholars, urging him to rule with more leniency. However, his words enraged Qin Shi Huang, who banished him to the northern frontier, ordering him to assist General Meng Qian in defending against the Xiongnu. Thus, Qin Shi Huang's harsh rule reached new extremes, solidifying his control but also planting the seeds of resistance within his own empire. 47. The Iron Mallet at Bulangsha. Qin Shi Huang knew that although he had conquered the 6 states, their former nobles and aristocrats still harbored resentment and could rebel at any time. To prevent uprisings, he forcibly relocated 120,000 wealthy families to Xianyang, ensuring they were closely monitored by the government. Additionally, he confiscated all private weapons, melting them down to cast 12 colossal bronze statues, each weighing 240,000 jin, about 120,000 kilograms, along with large bronze bells. Qin Shi Huang believed that without weapons, no one could rebel against his rule. To further display his dominance, he frequently traveled across his empire, performing sacrificial rituals at sacred mountains and rivers, having his achievements inscribed on stone tablets, and demonstrating his military power to intimidate the remaining nobles of the 6 states. An assassination attempt at Bulangsha. In 218 BCE, during the spring, Qin Shi Huang embarked on another grand imperial tour with a massive entourage. As his carriage convoy moved slowly through Bulangsha, modern-day Yuanyang County, Henan, suddenly, a loud crashing sound echoed through the air. A giant iron mallet came hurtling through the sky, smashing into the secondary carriage right behind the emperor's. The convoy came to an immediate halt. Soldiers frantically searched the area, but the assassin had vanished. Furious, Qin Shi Huang ordered a nationwide manhunt to find the assassin. For 10 days, his forces searched relentlessly but found nothing. In the end, they had no choice but to abandon the investigation. The assassin, Zhong Liang. The mastermind behind the assassination attempt was Zhong Liang, a former noble of the state of Han. Both his grandfather and father had served as prime ministers of Han. However, when Qin conquered Han, Zhong Liang was still a young man. Determined to avenge his fallen state, he sold his family's wealth and traveled across the land, seeking alliances with heroes and warriors. Eventually, he befriended a mighty strongman, who wielded an iron mallet weighing 120 jin, about 60 kilograms. Together, they devised a plan. When Qin Shi Huang passed through Bulangsha, the strongman would hurl the mallet at his royal carriage. However, the attack missed its target, destroying only a secondary carriage. With the assassination attempt failed, Zhong Liang fled in secrecy, adopting a false identity. He eventually settled in Xiapi, modern Suaning, Jiangsu, where he lived in hiding, biding his time and studying military strategy in preparation for future revenge. Zhong Liang's mysterious encounter. One day, Zhong Liang was walking alone on a bridge when he saw an elderly man sitting at the bridgehead, wearing a coarse cloth robe. As Zhong Liang passed by, the old man deliberately moved his foot, causing his shoe to fall off the bridge. Turning to Zhong Liang, he rudely commanded, "Young man, go fetch my shoe." Zhong Liang was insulted and nearly struck the old man in anger. However, upon closer examination, he noticed that the man was elderly and decided to control his temper. Begrudgingly, he climbed down the bridge, retrieved the shoe, and handed it back. Unexpectedly, the old man didn't take the shoe. Instead, he stretched out his foot and ordered, "Put it on for me." Zhong Liang was furious, but since he had already fetched the shoe, he thought, "I might as well finish the favor." So, he knelt respectfully and put the shoe on the old man's foot. The old man finally smiled, stood up, and walked away. Zhong Liang was bewildered. He stared at the old man's retreating figure, wondering who he was. After walking about 100 paces, the old man suddenly turned back and said, "Young man, you are quite promising. I would like to teach you something. Meet me here again in 5 days at dawn." Zhong Liang, sensing that the old man was no ordinary person, immediately knelt and agreed. The 3 meetings. 5 days later, Zhong Liang woke up early and hurried to the bridge. To his surprise, the old man had already arrived. The old man scolded him. "When meeting an elder, you should arrive earlier. How dare you keep me waiting?" Then, he walked away, saying, "Come back in 5 days, be earlier this time." 5 days later, Zhong Liang arrived at the bridge as soon as the rooster crowed. However, the old man was already there again. Annoyed, the old man glared at Zhong Liang and said, "Too late again. Come back in another 5 days." This time, Zhong Liang did not take any chances. On the 4th night, he arrived at the bridge at midnight and waited in silence. Before dawn, the old man finally arrived. Seeing Zhong Liang waiting patiently, the old man smiled warmly and said, "This is how a student should behave." He then pulled a book from his sleeve, handed it to Zhong Liang, and said, "Study this well, and you will accomplish great things in the future." Before Zhong Liang could ask any questions, the old man turned and disappeared into the distance. The Book of Military Strategy. When the sun rose, Zhong Liang examined the book carefully. To his astonishment, it was the legendary Taigong's Art of War, a classic military text attributed to Jiang Ziya, Taigong Wang, the legendary strategist of the Zhou dynasty. From that day forward, Zhong Liang devoted himself to mastering the art of war. Over time, he became one of the greatest military strategists in Chinese history, playing a crucial role in the downfall of the Qin dynasty and the rise of the Han dynasty. 48. The Conspiracy at Shaki. In 210 BCE, Qin Shi Huang embarked on another grand imperial tour, traveling to the southeastern regions of his empire. Accompanying him on this journey were Prime Minister Li Sai, the eunuch Zhao Jiao, and his favored youngest son, Hu Hai. After crossing the Qiantang River, Qin Shi Huang visited Kuaiji Commandery, then traveled north to Langya, modern Jianan, Shandong. From winter through summer, the emperor continued his tour, but on the return journey, he fell ill near Pingyuanjin, modern Pingyuan County, Shandong. Despite the royal physician's treatments, his condition worsened. By the time they reached Shaki, modern Guangzhou County, Hebei, Qin Shi Huang was near death. Realizing that his end was imminent, he summoned Zhao Jiao and instructed, "Write a letter to Prince Fusu, ordering him to return to Xianyang immediately. If I do not recover, he will handle my funeral and succeed me." The letter was written, but before it could be sent, Qin Shi Huang passed away. Keeping the death a secret. Li Sai and Zhao Jiao discussed the situation. Li Sai said, "We are still far from Xianyang. It will take several days to return. If news of the emperor's death spreads, there may be chaos across the empire. It is better to keep his death a secret until we reach the capital. They placed Qin Shi Huang's body inside his carriage, closed the curtains, and sealed the doors. No one outside the inner circle, except for Hu Hai, Li Sai, Zhao Jiao, and a few trusted attendants, knew that the emperor was dead. The convoy continued its journey as if nothing had happened. At every stop, officials still approached the carriage to present reports, unaware that the emperor inside was already a corpse. Zhao Gao's plot. Meanwhile, Zhao Jiao saw an opportunity for power. He knew that the rightful heir, Prince Fusu, was deeply respected and had the powerful General Meng Qian as his supporter. If Fusu became emperor, Zhao Gao's ambitions would be crushed. Thus, Zhao Zhou privately conspired with Hu Hai, convincing him to seize the throne by faking an imperial edict. Hu Hai, eager for power, fully agreed. However, they knew that Li Sai's approval was essential. Zhao Jiao approached Li Sai and said, "The emperor's seal and edict are now in Hu Hai's hands. We have the power to decide who will rule. What do you think we should do?" Li Sai was shocked and protested. "How can you say such treasonous words? This is not something we, as ministers, should decide." Zhao Zhou cunningly replied, "Think carefully. Is your talent greater than General Meng Qian's? Have you contributed more than Meng Qian? Are you closer to Fusu than Meng Qian is?" After a moment of silence, Li Sai admitted, "I cannot compare to him." Zhao Zhou then pressed further. If Fusu becomes emperor, he will surely make Meng Qian his prime minister. And what will happen to you? You will be dismissed and sent back to your village. But if Hu Hai takes the throne, he will be eternally grateful to us. You will retain your power and live in luxury. Consider your choice carefully. After much hesitation, Li Sai, fearing for his future, betrayed his loyalty and sided with Zhao Jiao and Hu Hai. The fake imperial edict. The three conspirators forged a decree in Qin Shi Huang's name, accusing Prince Fusu of failing to achieve merit in battle and of harboring resentment toward the emperor. The fake edict ordered Fusu and General Meng Qian to commit suicide, transferring command to Vice General Wang Li. When Fusu received the decree, he wept bitterly and prepared to end his life. However, Meng Qian grew suspicious and urged him to question the order. "This edict is likely a forgery. You must appeal directly to the emperor." But Fusu, being an obedient and loyal son, sighed and said, "If this is my father's command, how can I disobey?" With that, he took his own life. Meng Qian, however, refused to comply, saying, "I have committed no crime. I will only die if I am shown a legitimate decree from the emperor himself." Zhao Zhou later had Meng Qian imprisoned, where he was slowly poisoned to death. The rotting corpse and the stench of deception. As the convoy continued towards Xianyang, the extreme heat of late summer caused Qin Shi Huang's body to decompose rapidly. Soon, a foul stench emanated from the sealed carriage. To cover up the smell, Zhao Jiao ordered crates of salted fish to be loaded onto every carriage in the procession. The overpowering fishy odor masked the putrid decay, preventing anyone from suspecting the truth. Hu Hai becomes emperor. Upon arriving in Xianyang, Zhao Jiao and Li Sai finally announced Qin Shi Huang's death and held a grand state funeral. At the same time, they declared Hu Hai as the new emperor, falsely claiming that this was Qin Shi Huang's final decree. Thus, Hu Hai ascended the throne as Qin Shi, second emperor of Qin. Eliminating threats. After securing the throne, Hu Hai and Zhao Jiao feared exposure of their deception. To prevent rebellion, they ordered a massive purge. All 12 royal princes and 10 princesses were executed. Numerous ministers and generals were put to death. Anyone suspected of disloyalty was killed without trial. A year later, Zhao Jiao, hungry for absolute power, turned against Li Sai, the very man who helped him seize control. Through false accusations, Zhao Jiao convinced Hu Hai to arrest and execute Li Sai, removing his last political rival. With Li Sai dead, Zhao Jiao assumed the position of prime minister, ruling as the true power behind the throne. The Qin dynasty's path to collapse. Although Zhao Jiao and Hu Hai seized power through deception and brutality, their reign was built on treachery and fear. Within just a few years, Rebellions erupted across the empire, and the Qin dynasty rapidly unraveled. In the end, Zhao Gao's ambitions would lead to his own downfall, and the once mighty Qin Empire would crumble into chaos.